First time I saw her was in a restaurant. She was having coffee, and I looked up and I said hello, and she said hello, and I had a coffee with her, asked her for a date. We went out that night, and the rest is history. She was my eyes, my legs. She was everything. But most of all, she was my best friend.
My grandmother and I have always been really close. As she got older, I really had no idea what it would take. It was a full-time job, like having a child.
Well, I used to be very active in the community. I played bridge. Spent a lot of time with my grandkids. It's strange how these things happen. You live your life, then all of a sudden, everything changes. I didn't know what I was going to do. A United Way agency helped me to live again.
It was such a relief when I found out I wasn't alone. There was help. Even things I could learn to make it easier.
If it wasn't for the United Way and an agency that helps me, I don't know really just how I would get by.
Last year, United Way helped nearly 150,000 seniors by providing them with personalized home care and community programs. For many, this support meant the difference between living in their own home or living in a nursing home. And with the expected growth in the senior population, the demand for these services can only increase.
The first time my dad beat me, I was 6. I left home after he beat me up on Christmas Day. I was 13. I was doing tricks for $100 a pop and heroin for a little less. It just took my mind off things.
Barbara, my daughter, went to jail when she was 25. But it was the little guys, Sean and Nicky. They really suffered. They were so closed up. Kids shouldn't have to be like that.
I used to hang out with the wrong crowd, always getting into fights and shit. I'll never forget the time I beat up this guy in the park. Look in his eyes, man, he was so terrified. If the club hadn't taken me in, I'd have a record for sure. Now I want to be a social worker. If you'd have told me that a few years ago, I'd have laughed in your face.
Since they joined the program, those kids have come alive. They adore their group counselors, and they get to swim and play ball, and I think they would live there if they could.
The shelter helped me out a lot. I know that there's something more, that not everybody just wants to use you for something. I'm sick of running.
Last year, United Way helped more than 94,000 kids through tutoring, counseling, and mentoring programs. For many, that meant staying in school. For many others, it meant staying off the streets.
I used to look at posters on wife abuse and think to myself, what's the big deal? I never thought of my relationship as abusive. When I couldn't find sunglasses big enough to hide my black eyes, I came up with excuses. I ran into the door. I tripped. It was when my kids started telling the same lies that I knew it had to stop.
I got married when I was 17. He was my high school sweetheart. I really didn't know anything other than how to be a housewife. I never thought I'd need to. I was lost. My whole world revolved around him.
We were married before we moved here. He couldn't find a job. He was very frustrated, very depressed. I was blaming myself for his suicide. It was eating me up. I just couldn't take it anymore. The center helped me deal with Henry's death. They saved my life.
They taught me the skills I needed to get a job, to be independent, and mostly, they helped me get back my self-esteem.
Getting out was the best thing I could have done. But I learned loving someone shouldn't include being hit by them.
In 1995, United Way provided a hand up to more than 750,000 women through shelter, counseling, and skills training services. Many of these services are only offered by United Way funded agencies. Unprecedented government cutbacks threaten to undermine the social services that ensure our quality of life. United Way can help preserve our community, but we need your help to do it. In 1995, United Way helped over 1 million people in the Greater Toronto Area. That's 1 in 3 people in our community. When you donate your time or money to United Way, you help people help themselves and their families, and you contribute to the quality of life in our community. Plus, with 87 cents out of every donated dollar going to one of our carefully monitored agencies, you can be sure that every cent is well spent. Every day, thousands of people turn to United Way agencies for help. Now, we turn to you. Please participate in this year's campaign and help the hand that helps the most. You can make a difference in our community.